The laughter cut sharper than any insult. It wasn't loud. It was low, edged with a kind of smug amusement that hollowed my chest. "Funny," she said, swirling her wine as her eyes stayed fixed on me. "How you get jealous when I see my ex. Maybe that means you're not as secure as you pretend to be." The words hung in the air like smoke. Around us, the restaurant hummed with clinking silverware and muffled conversations, but all I could hear was her voice, replaying in loops. My wife. The woman I had trusted with my soul, tossing a grenade across the table with a laugh. I tried to swallow down the sting. Maybe she was teasing. Maybe I was overreacting. But then her phone buzzed. A quick flick of her eyes, a curl of her lips, and she flipped it face down before I could glimpse the name. A crack formed in my chest, small but real. Later that night, when the house was quiet and she was in the shower, I noticed she'd left her phone on the dresser. Normally, I never touched it. I wasn't that kind of husband. The one who dug for proof of monsters under the bed. But that laugh wouldn't leave me. It echoed through the walls of my head, daring me to look closer. My fingers hovered. The shower hissed. My heart hammered like a fist on a locked door. I opened her phone. At first, nothing. Just the usual, family group chats, random reminders, Pinterest boards. I almost sighed in relief, ashamed of myself. Then I saw a folder at the bottom, neatly tucked inside her gallery. Labeled innocuously, "Work Notes." I shouldn't have tapped it. I shouldn't have. But I did. And there he was. Her ex smiling in photos that weren't innocent. Not explicit, but intimate. Coffee dates. A blurred snapshot of him in a hoodie, clearly taken from her passenger seat. A mirror selfie, his hand low on her waist. The room tilted. My legs felt weak. The shower stopped, and panic surged through me. I slammed the phone down and stepped back, pretending to sort laundry as she walked out, hair damp, humming softly like nothing had fractured. I smiled at her. I smiled while my insides bled. Over the next week, I became two people. The husband she thought she knew, laughing at her jokes, holding her hand, making dinner. And the stranger inside, watching everything with suspicion, dissecting every glance at her phone, every sudden errand, every late meeting. I told myself I needed proof. Concrete. Unshakable. Maybe I'd imagined it all. Maybe those photos were old, left in her phone like forgotten scars. But the way she guarded her messages now, the way she excused herself to take calls on the porch, the truth wasn't hiding. It was knocking at the door. One night, she said she was going out with friends. A girls' night, she called it, with the kind of casual tone that felt rehearsed. I nodded, kissed her cheek, and waited until I heard her car fade into the distance. Then I followed. The rain made the streets shine like black glass. I trailed her headlights, keeping far enough not to be noticed. My stomach twisted tighter with every turn. She didn't drive toward downtown, where the bars and restaurants throbbed with life. Instead, she pulled into a quiet lot outside a hotel. I froze at the wheel, the breath caught in my throat. And then I saw him, her ex, step out of a car parked 2 spaces over. They didn't hesitate. They didn't even look around. She walked straight into his arms, and he kissed her like I was already dead. My hands clenched the steering wheel so hard my knuckles burned white. The rain pounded harder, blurring the windshield. I couldn't move, couldn't scream, couldn't stop staring. The shadow had become solid. She came home late, smelling faintly of perfume that wasn't hers. I asked how her night was. She smiled, tired, said fun, and curled against me in bed. Her warmth pressed against my body while I lay frozen, silent, and screaming inside. For days I carried the weight alone. Every time she spoke, every time she laughed, it scraped at the raw wound she had carved into me. But part of me still wanted to believe there was a reason. A mistake. Something I could forgive if she only explained. Finally, I couldn't bear it anymore. One evening, I sat her down. "Are you happy?" I asked. My voice was steady, but inside I was trembling. She blinked, surprised. "Of course." "Why?" "Because I saw you." Her face shifted. For a second her mask slipped, the tiniest flicker of fear, of calculation. Then she laughed. That same laugh that had started it all. "You followed me," she said. "God, that's pathetic." Pathetic. The word sliced deep. "Tell me the truth." I whispered. Are you with him? She didn't deny it. She didn't even soften it. She just stared at me, cold and unflinching. Maybe I never stopped loving him. Maybe you were just safe, comfortable. But not him. He makes me feel alive. Alive. As if I had been a coffin she'd rested in all these years. The days after blurred. Anger came in waves, but so did grief. I walked through our home like a stranger. Every photo on the wall a ghost mocking me. Friends noticed my silence. My mother asked if I was sick. But I couldn't explain the sickness that comes from betrayal. The rot that spreads through every memory, tainting even the good ones. And her? She carried on as if she had confessed nothing. Cooking, cleaning, talking about bills. As if we weren't crumbling. As if she hadn't stabbed me in the chest and left the knife there. Until one night, when she walked in late again, hair tousled, smile faint. I was waiting in the dark. Does he love you? I asked quietly. She froze. What? Does he love you? Or are you just a secret to him, like I've been to you? For the first time, she faltered. The confidence cracked. She didn't answer. And in that silence, I understood. She wasn't choosing him because he was better. She was choosing him because he was forbidden. Because the danger made her feel like the person she missed being. And I, her husband, her anchor, had become the reminder of the life she'd grown to resent. I didn't rage. I didn't beg. I simply stood, walked to the door and said, then go. Be alive. But don't come back here pretending you're still my wife. She didn't follow me. Didn't cry. She just stood there, stunned, as I stepped into the night. The air was cold, sharp, cutting clean through me. But for the first time in weeks, I could breathe. Some betrayals end with shouting, with broken dishes and slammed doors. Mine ended with silence. And sometimes, silence is louder than any scream. Even now, her laugh echoes in my mind. That first spark of betrayal, disguised as humor. I wonder if she ever thinks about the man who loved her without conditions, who would have given her everything. Maybe she laughs about that too. But I don't. I don't laugh anymore. I've learned that love can be a quiet death, and betrayal the knife that teaches you how to live again.